The Battle of Midway in 1942 was one of the most important naval battles in history. It marked a turning point in the Pacific during World War II, when the United States Navy dealt a powerful blow to the Japanese fleet. But what if, during this intense and chaotic battle, a modern destroyer suddenly appeared in the middle of the fight? With its advanced weapons, radar, and technology, the arrival of such a ship would completely change the course of the battle, and possibly the entire war. A modern destroyer is a powerful and complex warship. It carries guided missiles that can hit targets in the air, on the sea, or on land with incredible accuracy. It has radar systems that can detect enemy aircraft and ships hundreds of kilometers away. It moves faster, shoots farther, and defends itself better than any ship that existed during World War II. At Midway, the most powerful ships were aircraft carriers and battleships, armed with guns and early planes. They relied on slower communication and less precise weapons. So the sudden appearance of a modern destroyer would be like dropping a piece of future technology into a past war. The first major impact would be detection. During the actual battle, both the US and Japanese fleets depended on scouts and spotter planes to locate each other. It took time to find enemy carriers, plan attacks, and launch aircraft. A modern destroyer would instantly scan the entire area with advanced radar, spotting enemy ships and planes long before they came close. This early warning could give the US fleet a huge advantage, allowing them to prepare for attacks and strike first with perfect timing. Then there's the firepower. In 1942, anti-aircraft guns were often inaccurate and had limited range. Japanese dive bombers and torpedo planes caused massive damage to US ships because defenses were slower. But a modern destroyer carries advanced missile systems that can shoot down dozens of incoming aircraft at once, guided by computer systems. If a Japanese air attack approached Midway or the US carriers, the destroyer could take down entire waves of planes before they even got close. The Japanese pilots would have no idea what was happening as their planes exploded in midair, far outside the range of any World War II weapon. Against ships, the destroyer would be just as deadly. In 1942, naval battles relied on aircraft and big naval guns. A destroyer from today has anti-ship missiles that travel at high speeds and can hit targets over the horizon. Japanese carriers like Akagi or Kaga would be easy targets. A single missile could destroy or disable a carrier in minutes, something that took dozens of planes and precise bombing runs during the real battle. The Japanese fleet would face devastating strikes with no way to fight back. Their guns could not reach the modern destroyer, and their planes would be wiped out before launching attacks. Communication would also give the US fleet a huge edge. In World War II, radio messages were slower, and information often arrived too late. A modern destroyer's satellite and digital communication would let commanders share live data, track every enemy movement, and plan attacks instantly. Confusion and delays, which often decided battles, would disappear for the US side. The psychological effect would be enormous. Japanese commanders would be shocked to see their planes disappearing and their carriers exploding without any visible explanation. They would not understand radar, guided missiles, or modern defense systems. Panic and disorganization could spread quickly through their fleet. Meanwhile, American sailors would see this mysterious ship defending them with unmatched power, boosting their morale and confidence. However, there would also be challenges. A modern destroyer depends on modern fuel, supply chains, and trained crew to maintain its advanced systems. In 1942, there would be no proper infrastructure to support it. If the destroyer ran out of missiles or fuel, it couldn't simply reload at a World War II naval base. It would have to rely on what it carried with it. But for the short duration of the Battle of Midway, even a single modern destroyer's ammunition would be enough to completely dominate the battlefield. The outcome of the battle would likely change dramatically. Historically, the US won by sinking for Japanese carriers through clever strategy and brave attacks. With a modern destroyer present, the victory would be faster and even more one-sided. The Japanese fleet might be wiped out in a single day, losing carriers, cruisers, and aircraft with no real way to respond. The bigger question is, what would happen after Midway? If such advanced technology appeared in 1942, both sides would try to study it. The US military might try to reverse engineer parts of the ship, pushing their technology decades ahead of schedule. The Japanese, if they captured any pieces, would do the same. The presence of the destroyer could accelerate the development of radar, missiles, and computers, reshaping not just the war, but the entire 20th century. The war in the Pacific could end much sooner. With Japan's main fleet crushed at Midway, the U.S. could go on the offensive earlier, possibly forcing surrender years before 1945. The atomic bomb might not even be used if the Japanese Navy and Air Force were destroyed this early. World history might follow a completely different path. The appearance of a modern destroyer at Midway would be like introducing a superweapon to a time when no one was ready for it. Its advanced radar, missiles, and communication would turn a hard-fought battle into a swift and decisive victory. It would shake military strategy, global politics, and technology in ways no one could predict. A single ship from the future could rewrite the story of World War II, not just at Midway, but for the entire world.